Hey guys and gals, girls and boys. I'm grafting fruit trees, and when I do this I usually just kind of push through it and don't stop and slow down to do what I think a lot of y'all want, because I've heard people ask. A lot of people have asked about the varieties that we have and descriptions of them. Some of them I don't have very good descriptions of because we don't have a lot of notes on a lot of the varieties yet. This one I'm getting ready to talk to you about is a variety that we've had once before, but through deer damage, we do not have that variety any longer. Excuse the mess behind me. I'm sitting in my garage. It's a nice shady spot. We're going to have record highs again today, close to 90 here in early April in East Tennessee, Zone 7B. So we're by no means out of our frost yet. We got frost coming. Matter of fact, we got barely, it's going to be freezing, but just barely freezing weather coming up next week. Hopefully that's as bad as it gets, because I got apple trees bloomed everywhere. If it gets bad, we're going to lose our apple crop. But anyway, today I'm working with White Winter Pearmain. Well, today, right now, White Winter Pearmain. This is what a scion looks like, in case you wondered. You want something fairly straight. It can be thick like this, a little bigger than a pencil, or it can be even smaller than this. If you got something smaller, you can work with it. It can be done. There's lots of ways to graft. Classic whip and tongue like stuff that's, this size as far as the diameter, and you don't need but one bud to work with. But I usually let 2 buds go on my graft. Every now and then I'll do 3, but usually 2. 3 is fine. Once in 7 blue moons I'll do 4, but that's real odd. It's usually 2 or 3. I'll do 1 if it's something that's been very hard to get scion wood for. But anyway, I want to talk to you about the White Winter Pearmain. So I am in my Old Southern Apples book. If you don't have Old Southern Apples and you are an apple fan or you live in the South, it is definitely something you should check into. This was Lee Calhoun, Creighton Lee Calhoun Jr. And if you're not familiar with Lee Calhoun, he has done a lot of work for us with saving some of these old apples, and I really appreciate what he's done. But anyway, White Winter Pearmain. Let's talk about the description we have in this book. So it says Warder in 1867 gives the history of this high quality apple. This favorite fruit was brought to Indiana by saddlebag transportation, and we smother on trying to take care of our trees and baby them and pamper them, and this traveled in a saddlebag in one lot of grafts. 2 varieties having lost their labels. So by the time they got to where they were going, there wasn't no labels on these, and I think anybody that's grafted many apples sure understand that we lose labels. Being Tiffany, definitely have trees on the farm that we lost labels to. Thankfully, we're able to figure most of them out by knowing what we've grafted and so on and so forth. We figured out another one year before last that was the first year that it fruited enough to be able to get a good look at the apples and taste and confirm when it bloomed and when it ripened and so forth. So we're very happy to be able to get a tag back on one that we had lost or forgot or weather had gotten. So having lost their labels, were propagated and fruited without a name. So they didn't know what they were still. So being that they were pearmain shaped apples, so they're pearmain shaped. So if you're familiar with apples, you understand that. If not, it's a quick, easy look up. And I'm going to show you a picture of this apple in this book here in a minute. They were called respectively red and white winter pearmain. The former, so the red one, proved to be a Sopus Spitzenberg. If you don't know Sopus Spitzenberg, another fine apple. The latter, so the white one, has never yet been identified. So nobody knows what it was. Though it's believed to have been an old eastern variety, but nobody knows what variety it was. The White Winter Pearmain was widely sold and praised by southern nurseries for its annual yield. So it's not biennial; it does yield annually, and excellent eating quality. Now, when we're growing apples, sorry, I got an itch. When we're growing apples, we're looking for either eating quality or cooking quality or storing quality. Preferably, it's an apple that does all of the above, but that's not always true. So we work with what we've got, and so you got to go with what you're looking for. Like we're putting out a planting right now this year, starting this year in the ground, that is just primarily cooking apples. Now, some of these apples double as an eating apple, but their primary use is cooking. So apple pies, apple chutney, apple butter. There's lots of ways to cook an apple. So apple sauce. So that's what these are going to be sauce, baking apples, apple butter apples, and so forth. So anyway, in 1870, one North Carolina nursery said, regarded by leading pomologists of this state as the highest flavored apple in cultivation. That's a brag. The soil must be rich to perfect the fruit. So some apples are definitely that way. The quality of the soil directly affects the quality of the fruit. Growing conditions directly affects the quality of a lot of apples. So where they're grown, north, south, southeast, all that changes. Southern nurseries often listed Michael Henry Pippin as the synonym of White Winter Pearmain, as did Elliott in 1858, Downing in 1878, and the USDA in 1869. Beach, 1905. However, Beach in 1905, however, says that there is convincing evidence that Michael Henry Pippin, an old New Jersey apple, and White Winter Pearmain are different apple varieties. So they were probably very similar, but not the same. The descriptions of these two apples are extremely close fit. Fruit medium or above, roundish to slightly oblong, conical, often oblique, skin smooth and waxy, greenish, turning to a pale yellow. Sometimes with a faint blush or bronzing, perhaps clouded with darker green in splotches or spots. Dots are numerous. So your little freckles on an apple, they're numerous. Small, pale, or russet, elongated around the cavity. So they get some elongation around the cavity and definitely some russeting. By the cavity, we're talking about the stem. Stem is short to almost medium length, cavity acute, deep, somewhat furrowed, sometimes russeted. Calyx is closed, basin usually furrowed. Flesh is white, so it's white inside, or yellowish, so it's white to a yellowish color. Tender and crisp, so it's not a super dense apple. It's going to be tender. Crisp, juicy, fine-grained, aromatic, subacid to almost sweet. So it's not a full-on sweet apple. It's just sweet. It ripens September through October, and a fairly good keeper. Fairly good keeper usually means 3 months or more. I don't know for sure on this one. And a fairly good keeper. Catalog listings from 1853 to 1926 were Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky, Texas, and Arkansas. So, just one of the amazing apples that we want to have. Now let's look at a picture of it. Okay, it's going to be easy to spot. It's the only white/yellow apple on the page, hence its name. Isn't that beautiful? Let me get a little closer for you. Makes you want to try that apple, doesn't it? Alright guys, we're going to try to keep these apple review videos to around the 10-minute mark, so we are there. If you like this video, like and subscribe. We do a lot of stuff with apples and organic farming, and we're getting deeper into pears, so there'll be pear videos coming out. And we do peaches and plums and pluots too, but our weather don't always cooperate on that, so they're not as good of a crop for us. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification little bell so you get notified when we put a new video up, and share this video with friends. And hey, let me know, what do you think about this apple? See you later.